Hey everybody, and welcome back to another one of Mudflap's movie reviews. My name is Mudflap, and today I will be reviewing the movie Bullet Train. Let's get started. Bullet Train is directed by David Leitch, and it is also based on the book by Kotaro Isaka, and it stars Brad Pitt, Sandra Bullock, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Brian Tyree Henry, and Bad Bunny. So we open the movie where we see the character Ladybug, portrayed by Brad Pitt. He is an assassin, goes by the codename Ladybug, and he has been given orders by his handler to board a bullet train to Tokyo, and he is on a mission to find a suitcase with a train sticker on it, but he doesn't really know what's in the suitcase. All he knows is his objective is to retrieve the suitcase and get off the train in Tokyo. But unbeknownst to him, there are several other assassins that have also boarded the train. They're all going after the same case, but they each have their own reasons for going after the case. But a lot of it is pretty secretive. Most of them just know that's their order, but they don't question it. They don't really know why they're doing it. But they're on the train, and everyone's goal is to get this suitcase. And that's where our adventure begins once the bullet train takes off for Tokyo. So overall, I thought this movie was it was surprisingly good. I expected it to be a good action movie based on the trailers, but it was over-the-top action, and it was like Quentin Tarantino action, but also a heavy amount of comedy thrown in there. It really reminded me of like Deadpool as well when it came to the comedy. They combined a lot of comedy with violence and killing, a lot like what Deadpool would do, but also a lot of movies like that embrace the dark comedy genre. It was way funnier than I expected and way more brutal than I expected it, but I really love this movie. It was a great action flick. I just really enjoyed seeing it. And David Leitch, for those who don't know, he and Brad Pitt go all the way back to Fight Club back in 1999. David Leitch was actually the body stunt double for Brad Pitt in that movie, which I just found that fact out recently. But I thought that was cool. Like a little over 20 years later, these two are still, working together in movies. So I think that's really great to see, when you can have those long-standing relationships in the movie industry. There are a lot of favorite moments for me. I just liked all the different characters, how we got to see all the different assassins and how they all had their own backstories and how they're all unified under one theme, which is to get this case. But there's also one bad guy that everyone is kind of focused on in this movie. He's called the White Death. He's a bad dude. He's killed tons and tons of people. He kind of leaves a calling card. He cuts off people's arms and hands, and it's all very, yeah, don't mess with this guy. There was just a lot of comedy. I never expected to see Brad Pitt be so funny in this movie when he's interacting with just other people on the train, but also with all the other assassins, and just like the banter that assassins have between each other. There's like some really funny banter between the assassins, and one of my favorite banters between assassins are the twins Tangerine and Lemon. They were played by Aaron Taylor Johnson and Brian Tyree Henry. Super funny. Aaron Taylor Johnson, I've never seen this comedic side to him. He's usually a big action dude, and Brian Tyree Henry is definitely a comedic guy. But it was just hilarious. Every single line that they were saying, they were just cracking me up big time. But then this Brad Pitt, he doesn't really want to be on the train for a super long time, but he always thinks he has bad luck. He's the Ladybug. He sees the Ladybug as bad luck, but every single assassin on this train, their code name, has to do with their personality, and I thought that was pretty cool. How each person has a cool code name, but it also, it has to do with what kind of person they are, what kind of background that they came from. So super creative, a lot of creativity there when it came to who the assassins are. And you'll definitely remember some of them just because how crazy they can get and how crazy they got in the movie. Also a really cool fight scene at the end between the White Death and a couple other assassins, just who were there kind of on their own mission too, side mission for revenge. The action that took place throughout this movie, there's just so much action, and I loved every time I got to see somebody fight, because it was just over the top. Like, I just never knew what to expect next. Like, it just was like, oh, who is he gonna fight next, and who's gonna show up, and will Brad Pitt ever get off this train? Because he was that kind of guy you kind of felt sorry for, because he just had bad luck after one thing after another just wasn't working out for him, but it was just awesome to see all this action. There are a lot of assassins in this movie, but I'd say my favorite assassins were Tangerine and Lemon, no doubt about it. Just super funny. You know, people were saying the twins, they were brothers, but it appeared that they were foster brothers. Just really great dialogue there, really funny dialogue, and it's just funny. And they're both British, so I think, you know, when you throw in an accent in there too, it just makes it even funnier. Especially British comedy is really funny. But also this was pretty cool. We got to see a couple surprise actors in this movie that one of them had been in a movie recently with Sandra Bullock and Brad Pitt, and then another one they showed her for a couple seconds, but in true character fashion, I'm going to let you guess who it is. If you haven't seen the movie, see if you can figure out who it is, but if you have seen the movie, you know exactly who I'm talking about. He just shows up pretty much whenever nowadays. So when I was watching this movie, I couldn't really place like a particular theme to it. It was driving me nuts because I've seen movies like this where you have several characters, they all have backstories, and then they all meet together and all the stories merge into under one unifying theme. So I did a little Google search because, you know, Google knows everything, and it turns out this type of movie is called hyperlink cinema, which I'll name a couple other movies that are like that so you get a better idea of what I'm talking about. The movie Babel, Crash, and Once Upon a Time in the West, they are all hyperlink cinema. Basically, you know, lots of storylines, but they're all unified under one theme. That's what hyperlink cinema is, and I love movies like that. I've really enjoyed seeing movies like that in the past, and I didn't really know if it ever had a name for it, other than like a drama action type deal, but it actually has a name, and I hope you learned something, because I definitely did. I think it's a cool little fact. I hope to see more hyperlink cinema in the future. It's just a really special, unique type of genre that I would love to see more of. So for Bullet Train, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10 Mudflaps. And before you go, drop in the comments below, what is your favorite hyperlink cinema movie? And as always, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and I'll see you next time.